All right, good morning, everybody. How you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in. Good morning, good evening, whenever it is. So we're here. Gonna go with the Urban Tarot today. See if I can give you guys a little bit more of a laugh. It's a Friday. We need to relax a little bit. The universe is saying to relax, put some fun out there, paint a nice picture. So this is a collective reading. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, sharing it out. Take what resonates. Please don't make anything fit. And remember, this is a collective. Somebody's into their Ten of Cups to the Trace, the Four of Swords in reverse. You got the Chariot, got the Game Master. How'd you keep just pooping cards out? We got one, please. I know you got a lot to say. I get it. We'll go through it. Alright, so got this all laid out here. Ten of Cups for happiness. Target on our back. Even Leo, good food. The Game Master. Breaking cycle. People are still a little worried. Well, I mean, inside this, so some people inside the collector are starting to find their happiness. They're starting to find their Ten of Cups. They're starting to find their residualness. And then on the other side of it, some of the people are starting to feel like the target's being taken off their back. They're not quite being followed as much anymore, being looked after as much anymore. Not maybe being targeted. Targeted, that's the word I was looking for. Being targeted as much. So as this is going on, because you're finding that Ten of Cups, you're removing that target from your back, your Chariot's starting to evenly yoke out, so you're starting to see some progress and moving forward. You're actually starting to see the light inside of the day, too. You're actually starting to get fed some good knowledge. You're starting to follow what you believe and see what you're working out, and the people you're going to are actually feeding you full of good news. They're not feeding you full of shit. That's why you get the cook here. That's why you get the Knight. And then the nice side of that, too, is that you guys are all working on yourselves. You guys are all working on mastering the game. You're working on your money. You're working on yourselves. You're working on your inner demons. Working on whatever we're working on. And inside of doing this, you guys are breaking out of that old cycle that we've been talking about, getting yourselves away from. Getting away from that belief system. Getting away from having to go see the doctor over everything you worry about and all that kind of crap, right? And that's on the other side. And then I say that you're breaking these cycles, but some people still are out there that are still concerned about everything that's going on. They're still chasing their pentacles. They're still worried. They're still just a little bit too worried, a little bit too over anxious, a little bit too zealous. It's almost like, to a certain extent, people don't want to come in and face that judgment that they need to come in and face, right? Because if you came in and just faced the facts of what you need to do to get through this stuff, you wouldn't be so scared to do it. You'd be able to enjoy the fact that you could sit up there on the edge, you could look out the window and just be in peace and happiness. You know, yesterday I sat for almost 3 hours with no noise. I just had the fan going, didn't even have my music going, didn't even have meditation music going. Just sat there for 3 hours in silence. Just enjoying the peace and quiet, right? Enjoying the fact of not being caught up in a tower moment. enjoying the fact that I didn't have to go to therapy to get there. I'd just done the work inside myself to make it all work. Now, just because I can pull that off and make it work doesn't mean the rest of you guys are going to find abundancies like I do inside of the things that I do, because everybody enjoys things in different ways. Everybody sees things in different ways. Everybody has a different vision of what they need to see or what they need to do. And everybody's on a different mission. Not everybody's on the same mission. Not everybody's going to walk off the same ledge as you are, right? Because not everybody can end up as freed up or not as hung. You know, not everybody can end up hitting a point where they understand that the fatality is coming from inside of them and not from everybody else. But if they would just change the way they think, and in a quick way, in a swift way, maybe stop slowing down everything, they'd probably start seeing that gain from becoming happy and getting in this love. They'd probably be able to see themselves a little bit more as a rock star up there on the stage. Maybe a bit more as a filmmaker, somebody that's putting all these pieces together, you're figuring it all out. But the fortune keeps changing for you, and it's not quite rolling out that way because your inner child is still saying, come on, man. It's time to come out and play. It's time to come and shine. Get out of the sorrow. Get out of the failure. Get out of the fact that you're stuck inside those old habits. Get away from these people that are making you feel less than adequate. That is going to be your biggest concern right now. Get away from people that are trying to dominate you, trying to testify that you're in a false love or they don't understand the love that you have. People that aren't spiritually balanced. People that just want to sit there and point the finger at you because they're so blinded by the justice that they're just trying to set fires everywhere because they can't figure out what's going on. Because they're the ones that have fallen to seducers. They're the ones that can't find happiness. They're the ones that have the snake still wrapped around their heart. But fortunately enough for you guys, we don't have to sit there and deal with that stuff anymore. Fortunately for them, they're going to have to. They're going to have to walk down this path of loneliness because they're too caught up in the competition. They're trying to alchemize things into their lives that don't belong there. They're too busy following people they don't need to follow. They're still looking and chasing that disappointment because they'll never change their mindset. The ideas, their crown chakra is just blocked off. They're in strife over everything. They don't feel that they're worthy enough. They're still worried sitting there trying to chase that pinnacle. They're still stuck in the old ways. They're too worried about being defeated. Their wealth is slipping away. They don't want to do the work because they know if they do the work, then they're going to get victory. And once you get victory, your cup starts getting poured into. And once that happens, then you come away from strife. You start being able to support the weight of the world on your day, right? You can become the star that you were meant to be. You can take the mask off that you no longer need to hide behind. And you understand that it's not as cruel out there. And you're not always going to face ruin. There is going to be some sort of peace as long as you decide to come in and do the work and build the inner strength. But if you don't want to do the work, you're never going to find peace. You're going to keep sitting there with the social media, getting that stuff shoved down your throat. See? Bad ideas coming to you from social media because they're not willing to face the wall. They want to keep you guys living in what your so-called lap of luxury, keep you mixed up on what true pleasure is, keep you trapped inside, not let you understand that the things that are out there, the stuff, the information they're giving you is bad. It's keeping you oppressed. It's keeping you guys with burdens you don't need to carry because they're keeping you stuck. They're keeping you malice. They're keeping the universe closed off to you guys. They're not letting you have your day in the sun. They'd rather sit there and watch you guys give you bad information, feed you full of bad crap because they know that they have the power to stand over you guys because you guys aren't going to interfere. Because you guys really honestly don't care if what they're putting out because you're not willing to do the change. Because your whole brains have been hacked. If you're still stuck in that mundane thing and that whole side of the media's right and white and blah 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 and this is bad and that is bad and we're all good, we're the only people that are good, yeah, well, good luck with that way of life. You are the problem inside of this. Oh no, I'm gonna end up back on a fucking roll again. But either way, that's what that reading's talking about. Get yourself out of the media. Get yourself out of the 9 to 5. Go do some homework. Go do some research. Go find out who these people truly are that are corrupting your minds. And once you find out who they truly are that's corrupting your minds, come back here and say, sorry, man. I didn't understand what you were saying to me. I didn't understand that what you were saying was the truth. I didn't understand that what you were saying was that these people are literally watching every keystroke that I make. So they can study every move. So that's why in the news you only see fear. You only see this. You only see that. Do you really think only bad stuff happens inside of the United States all the time? So, I'm not going to get on a rant. But either way, you guys have a good day. You know where it's going. Get your head out of the news. Free yourself from the freaking matrix of 9 to 5. And that's not freeing yourself from the job. That's freeing yourself from the beliefs. Get out of the belief system. There's a better one out there for yourselves.